B'Shem Hashem Naaseh V'Nasiach, we continue with lessons from Sefer Pelei Yoetz, written by Rabbeinu Eliezer Papo Alav Shalom. The subject of tonight's discussion is Gilgul. This is part 2. וגם מתוך אמונות הגלגול ומחש באיה שמא בגלגול שעבר هیر با طمع و اشما ועליו מוטל לתקן את אשר עיוות. Now, when we look into the chokhmah, the knowledge of Gilgul, of that which passed in the previous lives, that which happened in the previous lives, a person could find maybe perhaps in the previous life there were a lot of impurity, and now it's up to him to metaken that, to fix that, to come to a purity. ולכן יהיה מפליג לעשות מצוות ומעשים טובים. Therefore a person most likely needs to increase his mitzvot and good deeds, וסיגופים ותעניות ותיקונים, and to make himself suffer in a permissible way, to fast or to do the tikkunim. I was going through a sefer. There was a certain tikkun for Shichva Zera Levatala. It was first time seeing such a thing. Maybe 30 pages of readings, and mentioned that for the tikkun of Balkeri, the tikkun is 84 ta'aniyot, fasts. Now, in the older days, they used to do such a thing. In these days, that we cannot do 84 fasts, right? Chachmei Mekubalim, they bring, a person could make certain ta'aniyot, Monday, Thursday, maybe series of 4, with certain other ways, and giving tzedakah, and that would be metaken, that would be like a tikkun. ואפילו כל העולם אומרים לו, even if the whole world tells him, صديق אתה וידע בנפשו כי זך וישר פעלו יהי בעיניו כרשע. Even if everyone calls him, you are such a tzaddik, such a righteous person, וידע בנפשו, but כי זה זך וישר פעלו, and you know, he might think that he is doing well, יהי בעיניו כרשע. But in his own eyes, he needs to consider that as if he is not complete. He is not still that tzaddik. כידוע מאמרם ז"ל, as our rabbis of blessed memory teach us, שכך אומרים לאדם בשעת יציאתו מרחם עמו, that what happens is when a person leaves mother's womb, ואחד מן הטעמים הוא מחמת הגלגול, that they tell him, one of the reasons you come into this world is that you're coming here to leave a second cycle, to fix that which you weren't able to complete, to complete your mission in the past life. You didn't do a good job. Now Hashem gives you another opportunity. כי לא ידע אדם מה قدمه وما عبر الرشو بگلگولیم شعورنو. And the truth of the matter is that a person doesn't know what happened in the past life. He doesn't know what happened in the previous گلگولیم. وما گم به دورات حلالو شکوار گلو لانو همقبالیم شبرو بنه آدم هم میگلگولیم Sha'avru. Now this sefer was written around 150 years ago. So back then, the Chachmei Megubalim knew that most of the lives were Gilgul. How much most of our lives these days that we are Gilgul. והן טעם אשר המוציא ימצא נשמה חדשה שבה פעם ראשונה. והן טעם אשר המוציא ימצא נשמה חדשה שבה פעם ראשונה. And for this מעט, והן מעט, and there are very little neshamot that are here in this world the first time, right? And perhaps they are tzaddikim. They are not Gilgulim, they are tzaddikim. Those who have a Neshama Gadosh, and they are not Gilgul, most of the times, if I'm not mistaken, they become a big Sadiq, big Rav, a big leader, somebody who is making a big difference. ועזור ראוי שיקנה לבבינו כי דלונו מאוד ואין איתנו יודע מה אנו ומה באנו לתקן. Therefore, it is proper that we think in our hearts, that we understand very much what is happening, that we don't know why we are here and what we need to accomplish. We don't know our mission. כאשר היה בימי קדם בזמן הרב אריזל, right? Just like in the times of Arizal, that more than 1,000 people were identified as Arizal, as what Gilgul they were, and I'm adding this based on what I know, and Arizal told them what they need to accomplish in this world. It was unbelievable. Arizal, Be'ezat Hashem, you go to Eretz Israel, you go to Kivrei Sadikim, even a lot of Kivrei Sadikim were unknown. Sadikim didn't want to be buried. They didn't want people to know where they were buried. They didn't want the kabod. They didn't want them to become like, they call it in Farsi, Imam Zadeh, that people come and they pray to the dead. You're not allowed to pray to the dead. You only pray to Hashem, and you could ask Hashem, in the merit of this Sadiq, this righteous person who is buried here, please help me. Right? So there were a lot of unidentified kevarim, and Arizal said, this is the kever of this gadol, that gadol. He revealed it because he wanted them at certain time that people can go and can pray, and other reasons. ולכן ראוי לאדם, and there were a lot of kevarim, especially in Israel, that the Yemach Shemam v'Zichram, the Arabs, the enemies, they destroyed the tombstones. So there was, nobody knew who was buried there, and they were identified again by Arizal. ולכן ראוי לאדם שיהיה מרבה להיות עושה ולומדה יהיה בעיניו כנושה אולי ירסה. So a person needs to really work hard, right? And ולעולם יהיה בעיניו, and he needs to imagine that he hasn't accomplished much. I'm not sure exactly what this means. You have a question? No? כנושה אולי ירסה, or maybe something has accomplished, not sure. ואף על פי שאין איתנו יודע ואין אנחנו מכירים, even though that we don't know and we cannot recognize בגלגולים הקודמים, we cannot recognize why we are here, we don't remember the previous life. אבל עתה אחת ידענו מספרי הזוהר הקדוש. One thing we know from ספרי זוהר הקדוש, שמי שמת בלא בנים, a person who died without children, با مینن ونتبایما اشتو, با مینن ونتبایما اشتو הבכור אשר תלד לו בעצמו נפש הנפטר בלא בנים שנעשה לו אחיו אביו ואשתו אמו. According to Zohar HaKadosh, that which it says in the Gemara, that if two brothers get married and one of the brothers dies without any children, there is a mitzvah for the other brother who is even married to go and get married with the wife of his deceased brother, right? Even though that in a normal circumstance one cannot marry, but in this case there is a mitzvah, right? And gets married. Not that they should be having a life of marriage afterwards. No, to be with her in order that she would become pregnant And according to Zohar HaKadosh, the neshama of that person who gets born, that boy, right, most likely is the boy, is the neshama of that brother who passed away without children. So that's the mitzvah of ibum. These days the mitzvah of ibum is very rare. Sephardim still do it. Achenu Ashkenazim, they don't do ibum, they do chalisa. Now this needs to be with the consent of the wife of a deceased brother. If the wife says no, I don't want to be with him, they cannot be together. And there is a whole ceremony about this. And these days it has to be with pure intention. It cannot just be having fun. And this is something that Zohar HaKadosh teaches us. Hashem is giving another opportunity here, and it's even mitzvah that the deceased brother will come back to this world as a gilgul, right, from that wife, from his own wife, right? So again, this is something that these days is very rare. Maybe they do it in Eretz Israel by the Sephardim, because there is another opportunity for the neshama of the deceased brother to come back here as a new life, right? And let's go on. וראוי לאביו ויודעיו ומכיריו של הנפטר להגיד לו חסרונותיו שהיו ידועים להם כדי יתקן כאשר יוכל. Now after
you scared me, not the rat.
Sorry about that.
Woo! Next.
Okay.
You want to say someone else? We can say someone else.
No, I'm okay. You
It's
okay?
gone. It's gone. Yeah, I see this all the time. I work in downtown.
Yes.
They're running all across the office. Wait, is it recording?
Yeah, it's okay. Nobody knows. Okay, let's go. So so it is fit. It is fit for the father of that deceased husband to go to this child and tell him what chisronot, what issues he had in the previous life, and to help him out. Let's say he had issues with anger, this deceased person, and now a child is born, so in an indirect way helps him out not to have anger, right? Or he had issues with who knows what, he was very stingy, right? The father knows, goes help him out, learns with him musar, that should not have that midah of being stingy. Okay, let's go. וגם מתוך אמונת הגלגול ידע האדם כי משפט השם אמת, הסור תמים פעלו כי כל דרכיו משפט. And through belief to reincarnation, Gilgul, a person would come to know that Hashem does justice. Hashem is a honest judge with justice. ולא יתרעם על מידותיו יתברך כמנהג כמה בוערים בעם כאשר באים עליהם ייסורין קשים פוערים פיהם כלפי מעלות ואומרים ריבונו של עולם מה פשעי ומה חטאתי. And then a person would come to realize that after knowing how HaKadosh Baruch Hu does Gilgulim, that Hashem makes sure a person comes back to this world as a Gilgul to complete his mission, and Hashem does it in a perfect way in the same neighborhood, right? And sometimes Hashem has to make to a Gilgulim that a person who lent money to another person and the other person who borrowed the money never paid it back, that they should come back to this world and they should do certain business in contract together, that the one who never paid, that which he borrowed should pay back to the owner, right? And therefore a person comes to know that he cannot just look up in the Shamayim and complain, Hashem, what did I do wrong that I'm going through this difficulty? Haim khata'ai upesha'ai gavru al kol ha'olam. Person who questions Hashem, that which I did as a sin or I was negligence, was that harder than all of these difficulties in this world? Lama ta'aseh kol avdecha. Or those people who say, why are you doing this to me, your servant? Velu chokhma yaskilu ki hasur tamim pa'alo. There is no knowledge, there is no intellect that can understand Hashem's ways. Hashem's ways are beyond comprehension. Elu hayesurim hen hem lo al hagilgulim shaveru. Elu hayesurim hem lo al hagilgulim shaveru. Right? Maybe, I don't know if you like, you can finish. So maybe these difficulties that he's going through is because of his gilgulim, previous lives. Right? Kayadua ma'amar ha'mequbalim shegilu she'isurei Iyov behiyoto tam v'yashar v'yere Elokim v'sar mera v'nitchayev ba'am al ha'gilgul shavar. Now Iyov, right? We learned Job. We learned about Iyov is one of the Tanakh Sefarim. He was such a big tzaddik, but in the end of his life, he went through so many difficulties. He had such an emunah with Hashem that the Malach Hashem came to Hashem, and Hashem said, and told Hashem, let me challenge him. And he inflicted him with all sorts of sickness. He get swelling of the skin, and became cherkid, became infected. Nobody would come close to him. His body had a very bad smell, and one by one his limbs got disattached. He went through a lot of difficulties. He lost all his money. He lost his wife, children, everything. He never complained to Hashem. Says Rabbeinu Papa Alav Shalom, why he went through all that? He was a Gilgul, previous life. Kayadua ma'amar mequbalim. That's the Mequbalim revealed that. Shegilu Yisrael Yuv. Ma rav indar chaim bahem al gilu shavar. Shaya Terach Avi Avraham. Who was Eiyov? Was Terach, the father of Avraham Avinu alav shalom. Avraham Avinu's father was Terach. He was idol worshipper, right? He was in charge of a big idol factory, right? He became as a Gilgul in Eiyov, Job.
How many years?
How many years afterwards? Long time. Yes, there is such a thing. Gilguls do not happen right away. Long time afterwards, yes. Probably maybe 500, 600. We can look in the Tanakh. بگم بازه یش لشوب لداد ال یسورین قشیم شسوبلیم ילדים قتنیم عتیقی میشادیم گمولی مخالف ומיתת قتنیم לא עלינו שעל חטות נאורים שולח הקדוש ברוך הוא כי תלך אשתו נשמה שחייבת מיתה לתקן את אשר עיוותו ואגב ימצאו אביו ואמו כדי גאולתם בשערם שיסתרנו במיתתו. As we see, a lot of miscarriages happen, and there could be Neshamot of Tzaddikim that have to come to this world to be tempered in mother's womb to go to Gilgul. And unfortunately that's something that is happening in our generation a lot of miscarriages. 2 months, 3 months into pregnancy, some longer, some no heartbeat. It's terrible. So many of them. I know big Rabbanim that had 4, 5. And the explanation is that they were the Sadiqim, the Neshamot of certain Sadiqim that had to come to this world to go through purification, to Gilgul. بگم الیده הגلگולים מתגלים ענייני הזיווגים ומיתות וכל המגרעים הכל הוא מפלאות תמים דעים במידה במשקל ובמשורה. And all of these gilgulim that happen and comes to different zivugim, right? Why a person needs to get married twice, why a person needs to go to divorce, khas v'shalom la aleinu, right? Maybe the first time it wasn't that real soulmate, although our Rabbanim teach us a person should never think like that. Should say, Rav Netanyahu Shulita also says, a person should not have a havemina, should not have a thought that I missed my real soulmate. And there are different chances that Hashem gives, and a person could have actually the opportunity of marriage in few different individuals, that the neshama that he needs to get married to could be in a few different ladies, and Hashem will help him to find one of those few options, right? This is a whole new knowledge. It's a whole knowledge that it just over here is referring to. That could be a Gilgul. كأشر هروئه بسفره המקובלים, as we see in the Sifrei Mequbalim, right? המקובלים המספרים ענייני הגלגולים, that those who know the true Kabbalah, that they know how the Gilgulim work, like Harav Yehuda Petaya alav shalom. I have a sefer about him, Ruchot Mesaperot. It's unbelievable. It's actually it's scary how much knowledge he had. That even Muslims ladies in Iraq, right? He would understand what previous life they had, or what they went through, or they were those he brings in the Sefer Ruchot Mesaperot, that there was this person who one time had a cat jumped on his shoulders, and the cat, maybe her shoulders, cat was screaming and made her scream. I don't remember all the details. And then it was a whole thing, and he told the lady, this happened to you because you had illicit relationship. And when she denied it, he said, I can tell you with who you had the illicit relationship. And there was a Gilgul that came back in this world, and the Ruach, the Neshama, could not go to the upper worlds because they made a decree on him, because there was illicit relationships that he had, and he was denying it in the heavenly court. The heavenly court, everything is clear in front of them, and they even revealed that to him, that how many times he was with such so and so person. Scary how the system works. As they say, there is an eye that sees, there is an ear that hears, there is a hand that writes everything. Everything is being stored. If you would tell this 100 years ago to a person, would say, Baba velam kon, give me a break. Who can write all these books? You get an SD card, $4, 64 gigabyte. You put it in a recording, low. You get maybe 15,000 minutes. Unbelievable, right? We don't understand. So don't question Hashem. Just do all the mitzvot, do everything the best you can. Ma rabbu ma'asecha Hashem, u'ma niflaot, ahavato lanu. How great are your deeds, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the way that you created this world. How wondrous and perfect is the world that you created with love. And you have love to us, asher chashav machshavot belibti, that you put in our mind and in our hearts, that what we need to rectify, that we need to fix, Hashem would put it in us. They say, how would you know, and this was asked numerous times from Harav Netanyahu Shalita, how would a person know why he is here as a Gilgul, what he needs to do? Harav said, that which you have the hardest nisayon is very difficult for you to do it. That's probably why you brought back here, right? Let's say a person has a very hard time, right, keeping Gilad kosher. Maybe in the previous lives, right, he had what's it called? He had chelo kebab ba kare, right, or chelo kebab ba duq, right, kebab with yogurt, whatever they have, right. So he needs to hold himself back. He needs to control it. Yidach mimenu nidach yehi shem Hashem mevorach ma'ata v'ad olam umeromam al kol beracha utila. That may the name of Hashem be praised from now and forever. And that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is blessed, and he should be blessed, and he should be praised. Be'olam va'ed. Be'ezrat Hashem, may HaKadosh Baruch Hu help us that we all do our best to metaken, to rectify our mission, and to complete our mission in this world. Baruch Adonai Leonam. Amen v'amen.